Reporting from Django 2017 at the booth of Zeman Games, Aaron from Zeman Game has agreed to tell us about Pandemic Legacy Season 2, a game that I'm immensely excited about because I love the Season 1 and I cannot wait to learn more about Season 2. Now, you're going to tell us a little bit about the game, but are you also going to give us spoilers?
No spoilers. When we do this demo, it is the prologue that you get in the box. You can do this as many times as you want to until you feel comfortable with the mechanics, and then you can jump into January. So there's no spoilers given here. Okay. No spoilers at all.
Excellent.
So this takes place, when you read the beginning of the rules, 71 years after the end of the world. So the map is going to look a little different.
Yeah, it sure does.
So in this game, it's going to freak those pandemic players out because your goal is to keep cubes on the board. The cubes are not the viruses.
My mind is exploding already.
They are supplies. So, it's still got the same mechanics. On your turn, you are going to have cards. We have 3 different colors. We have blue, yellow, and black. So right now, it's a little bit less trouble to complete the objectives because you don't have those 4 colors. You also have some safe havens, which are not in the deck, so you know that they're going to be safe from the plague and stuff like that. You have an objective to complete, and right now you just need to put some supply centers on the board. When at the end of your turn you take the infection cards, and when you reveal an infection cards, what will happen is you take a supply off the board. So if it's at 3, you'll take 1 off the board. If you get down to 0, that's when you got to start panicking. Because when an infection card comes up and there are no supplies to take off, the plague shows up. And that is where you start to lose. If this gets down to the end, game over. So you're trying to avoid the plague. And the plague is going to work just like it did before in the other pandemics. Gets to 2, you're fine. Gets to 3, you're fine. But if you add that 4th one, there's going to be an outbreak. And then every city that's connected to it will try to get a plague cube. If there's a supply cube there, you're okay, it'll take it away. But if it's not, it will add a plague. So you can start to go up the track really fast. Your objective is to put supply centers on board. You just need to get 5 cards of the same color to do that. There's a couple of new actions on the board. You can, for 1 action, make a supply. So you're going to take a supply cube and put it on your character card. Let's get a character card here. Nope, that one's not there. There's a character card. You get to make your own characters. So the picture and the job, they're all on a sticker sheet, and you're going to choose which stickers and which jobs to put on your character.
Oh, so nice.
Right? So there's your prologue characters. Once they are in play, if you make supplies, you're just going to throw the supplies on your character. That's a new action. There's a deliver supply. So when you move down to a city, you can, for 1 action, take all the supplies you want to and drop them back in the city. Now the next time that city is revealed on the deck, instead of adding more plague, you'll just take the supplies off again. This game also has free actions that you get to do. On your turn, as a free action, if you're in a city, you can pick up all the supply cubes from a city and put them on your character. That's free. That's not part of your 4 actions. You can certainly do that. So if I start in a city and pick them up, I move to the next city and I pick up some more, I've spent a total of 1 action and I've picked up 5 supply cubes. Nice. You can also transfer supply cubes to another player if another player is in your city, and that is also a free action. So I have 2. Our black player is going to be next. I will go ahead and just give him 3 cubes so he can use those on his turn. But the basics of the game are still there. You're going to have 4 actions. You're going to have epidemics. You're going to draw your 2 cards at the end of the turn, and you're going to turn over some pandemic cards. Hopefully you win and complete the objectives before the plague gets all out on the board and you lose.
Wow, this is a very fascinating reimagining Pandemic, because I can see Pandemic and I can see it's not, it's not the old Pandemic. It's very different.
It kind of the cubes on the board is the biggest setback to people. They're like, oh gosh, I got to take cubes off the board. The nice thing though is that when you take a card from the infection pile, it only ever takes one cube away. So that is the nice and easy part of it. The bad thing is that when you get an epidemic card, the bottom card, when you draw that out, it's Jacksonville. This tells you to remove all cubes. So the epidemics are the only time that you have to worry about losing a lot of cubes. But otherwise, it's one at a time. Yes, and if you start your turn with the plague in your city, you will take your character and check for exposure and scratch off the exposure, and whatever's underneath it happens to you. My character just happened to get a scar. So now I'm going to take one of the scars and put it on my character. It could have happened that I got nothing there, but my character got a scar the first time he takes exposure.
Neat. And so I assume these have different combination of symbols, but when you grab your card at the beginning, you have no idea which one is which.
Yes, they all have different symbols underneath there. Some of them do not take scars. Some of them will die before the end of the 7. They die early. So you have to be careful with your character. But it's only when you start your turn. If you happen to move through, you're fine.
Also, this is only the prologue. We don't know what's going to happen in the sealed materials.
The prologue only, no
but
spoilers.
I looked at either this is the most wasteful board that I've seen in a long time, or I can speculate that something is going to happen here. I don't know, maybe it is. Maybe just mega bluffing. Yes, a completely huge board that will not be utilized. I don't think so. I'm very excited. When can we expect Pandemic Season 2 to be out? It
will be here this fall, before Christmas. It just has to get off the boat.
Excellent. Thank you so much for this very fascinating, mouth-watering introduction to Pandemic Legacy Season 2. Thank you again.